Hello everyone, it is LaShonda from Labors of Love with another Therapy Thursday video. So today I would like to talk a little bit about shame. Shame is such a familiar experience for many people, as many of us have feelings of inadequacy, self-doubt, and worthlessness often. And it is very difficult to sit with those feelings. So in an attempt to avoid those feelings, our brain will oftentimes give us anger instead of sitting with the sometimes immobilizing feelings of shame. So an example of that is someone driving down the highway getting ready to switch lanes and they don't check their blind spot. The person who is in their blind spot honks the horn to avoid a collision, and the person driving the car who didn't check their blind spot becomes extremely angry. They start to yell and use colorful language towards the other driver, maybe do a little bit of sign language, and they're just raging inside. Often that anger and that rage is an attempt to avoid the feelings of shame that I am bad. I am a bad driver. I am a bad person. I can't do anything right. Those things are way too hard to sit with, but anger is a more palatable experience. So if you find yourself frequently shifting to anger, it could be that anger is a way that your brain is giving you to avoid the painful experience of shame. Another experience that people frequently have to avoid shame is perfectionism. If I can just do everything right, if I can just be perfect, then I won't have to experience the feelings of inadequacy or self-doubt or worthlessness that are commonly there. Again, those feelings are so painful that I would rather just strive to never feel it again by being perfect. Well, what we know about perfectionism is it's unattainable. And when we fail to be perfect, it simply reinforces those experiences of shame that we frequently have. So those may be experiences that you can resonate with, or maybe you can't, but have other experiences where you can say you experience shame on a regular basis. I'd like to offer 3 suggestions of things that we can do to begin to acknowledge that shame is there and begin to free ourselves from some of the symptoms of toxic shame. One is developing some kind of mindful practice where we can be aware of our internal experience without judgment. That means literally feeling a sensation in our body and not assigning words like good or bad to it, but just noticing it. It means being able to think about a thought or have a thought be present, but not say, oh, that was good or that was bad, but literally just say it's a thought. Being able to take inventory of our internal experience without judgment is one way that we can begin the process of reducing the symptoms of shame. Another suggestion I have is to be aware of our internal dialogue. Many of us have an old tape recorder that plays the same script over and over again. A script that would have us to believe that we are worthless, that we don't have value, and that we are inherently flawed and unredeemable. That script for many people plays without our permission, and it just comes on. The first step is to just push stop on the tape recorder. We want to get to the point where we can replace that dialogue with positive self-talk, but until we build the muscle to do that, the first step is to just stop the negative recording. My third suggestion is to be able to have self-compassion, to forgive ourselves for mistakes that we've made, and to give ourselves the compassion and what we deserved as children but often didn't get, which is that's okay. It's going to be okay. And know that we have value despite the mistakes that we make. When we open the door to self-compassion, we allow the compassion of others to enter as well. It's not that others aren't giving us compassion, but often shame will barricade the door so that we can't receive it. So instead of waiting for that compassion to come outside of us, we can start to give it on the inside of the door. When we open the door, we can receive compassion from others. So while this does not cure all, there are good steps for us to begin to alleviate some of the stresses and pressure of toxic shame. If shame is something that you are struggling with, we would love to walk alongside you. Reach out to us at www.thelaborsoflove.com. Until next week, be well.